I had initially planned on doing a TV review for my first video, but then the Tomi Lahren suspension happened. I had commented on it a little on some videos here and there, but since I was planning on uploading content anyway, I figured, why not? So, whilst appearing on The View, Tomi Lahren commented on how she's pro-choice. This caused huge amounts of backlash, both from the right and the left, and it led to her being suspended from the Blaze. To start things off, I want to say that I like Tomi Lahren. I find her somewhat abrasive at times, but I have a somewhat begrudging respect for her, which I'll get into later. It's not because I think she's pretty, or whatever. I did not want to like her at first. When Black Lives Matter was just getting started, I had no real opinion on the issue, but I was uncomfortable with how some people were talking negatively about it. But then I started seeing what Black Lives Matter was really about, and that's when I came to an understanding of Tomi Lahren. Glenn Beck tweeted about the situation, and he did something that irked me. On The View, Tomi misspoke and said constitutional when she meant to say constitutionalist. And in his tweet, Glenn Beck said, quote, "Rule another label out. I am not a constitutional. I believe in life, liberty, and property. Just an old-fashioned constitutionalist." Mr. Beck, you know full well she meant to say constitutionalist, and I must say, that really doesn't help your case. Something else that doesn't help your case are videos that pointed out that in the past, Mr. Beck has said that he does not want to be surrounded by yes men. Well, this incident would seem to disprove that. The controversy isn't just that she's pro-choice. People have also called her a hypocrite who doesn't believe in anything and only says whatever in order to garner the most views. People point to previous videos in which she calls people who get abortions baby killers. I've watched one of the videos, and never does she explicitly say that she's against abortion. Yes, she uses the term baby killer, but it was in a video that was a response to something Lena Dunham said. My interpretation is that it was more to criticize a certain group of pro-choice people rather than the whole issue itself, because this was, of course, Lena Dunham's infamous comment about how she wishes she could get an abortion. And getting pregnant for the sake of getting an abortion deserves to be called out. Forgive my mind reading, but I don't buy that anyone truly believes that she's a hypocrite. I feel that people want to believe that in order to get some sort of flimsy justification for spewing venom towards her. There are plenty of other explanations out there that doesn't hinder on her being a hypocrite, such as her changing her mind. But you don't want to even consider that possibility, because doing so would mean that you no longer have said justification for spewing venom towards her. I don't believe she did this, but another explanation would be she deliberately gave the impression that she was pro-life in order to avoid being targeted. Speaking for myself, I do that all the time. I live in what's pretty much a hotbed for the regressive left, and if I were to so much as even come across that I might possibly have some form of dissenting opinion, however minor, I'd likely be ostracized from this town. Much like how Tomi Lahren is being ostracized from the right. That's why I like Tomi Lahren, because she's out there speaking her mind and just taking all the criticisms that go with it, whilst I'm here sitting on my hide, censored by fear. Even though she's younger than me, I find her braver than me. Even if she does just say whatever in order to get the most views, quite why would she openly go against something the right considers sacrosanct on The View? she would obviously be ostracized by the right, and being pro-life is controversial enough anyway. In communications, you're calling her a hypocrite is an example of not engaging in dual perspective. Without going into too much detail, dual perspective is defined as the ability to understand both your own and another's perspective, beliefs, thoughts, and feelings. Well, it seems Tomi Lahren might have one up on some of the people criticizing her. Imagine that. Without calling out any one specific person, I've seen videos that have said that you cannot be a conservative who is pro-choice, and that you cannot pick and choose what to believe. My response to that is that yes you can. One should always question their beliefs and, if necessary, go against the majority who share said beliefs. In short, dogmatism is never a good thing. You can too be a conservative who is pro-choice. Tomi Lahren is not the only one. Comedian Dennis Miller is also pro-choice, and yet I haven't seen anyone getting into a conniption fit over him. As you are criticizing Tomi Lahren, but not Dennis Miller, tell me, under your own criteria, would you not then be considered a hypocrite? To those on the right who've ostracized her, you've proven yourself closer to the social justice warriors that you claim to hate than I would think you would prefer to admit to. To those on the left, don't you and your self-aggrandizing use this incident as an excuse to be as obstreperous as possible? All the while insulting my intelligence by carrying yourself as if you have some sort of point. And to Tomi Lahren, I just wanted to say that I hope everything turns out fine, and I wish you well. And I hope that you keep doing what you're doing. I think what this whole incident shows is that you can't automatically trust someone just because they share the same political beliefs as you. And you can't automatically distrust someone just because they share different political beliefs as you. In closing, I would just like to say to those who accused Tomi Lahren of being a hypocrite, you, sirs and madams, are the true hypocrites. In case anyone's wondering, should I decide to continue with uploading content, my next video would likely be the television reviews I had originally planned on doing before Tomi Lahren's suspension came up in the news. Anyway, thanks for listening. And I hope I wasn't too awkward on my first video.